Life will test you in ways you can't even imagine. There will be days when you wake up and feel like the entire weight of the world is crushing your chest, when every voice around you tells you to quit, when your dreams seem too far, too impossible, too heavy to carry. And in that moment, when your body is tired, when your heart is breaking, when your mind whispers, "Maybe I can't do this," that is the exact moment that defines who you are. Most people stop there. They fold. They retreat. They make excuses and blame circumstances, timing, or luck. But the truth is simple. Winners are forged in the darkest hours, when nobody's watching, when no one believes in you but yourself. If you want to rise, if you want to conquer, you must be willing to do whatever it takes. Sacrifice sleep. Cut out distractions. Bleed, sweat, and fight until there is nothing left inside you but hunger for victory. Because success doesn't care about your feelings, life doesn't reward almost. The world only bows to those who demand victory, no matter the cost. Pain has a way of stripping away the illusions we carry about ourselves. When life is smooth, when everything feels easy, we start to believe we're strong, disciplined, or unbreakable. But that's just comfort deceiving us. Real strength doesn't show up in calm waters. It's revealed when the storm hits, and you're forced to stand in the middle of chaos. Pain tears down the masks you wear and forces you to see what you're truly made of. It exposes weakness, insecurity, laziness, and fear, not to shame you, but to show you where the work must be done. Most people avoid pain, thinking they're protecting themselves, but all they're really doing is avoiding growth. Pain shows you the gap between who you are and who you could be, and if you dare to listen, it will point you toward the exact areas that need to be forged into strength. Pain has no sympathy, no mercy, no kindness, yet it has the purest form of honesty you will ever encounter. It doesn't lie about your limits, it doesn't flatter your ego, it doesn't allow you to pretend. When your lungs are burning, when your body is breaking down, when your mind is screaming to stop, that's the moment when pain speaks the loudest truth. You're either going to rise or you're going to fold. It's not a choice anyone else can make for you, and it's not a test you can fake your way through. Pain exposes if you truly want the life you claim you want. If you keep running from it, then your dreams remain only fantasies. But if you learn to face it, embrace it, and even welcome it, you'll find that pain becomes the sharpest tool in carving out the strongest version of yourself. The reality is, pain forces you to grow faster than comfort ever will. Comfort keeps you stagnant, locked inside a cycle of routines that never challenge your limits. Pain, on the other hand, stretches those limits until they break, forcing you to rebuild stronger than before. Every setback, every heartbreak, every failure carries a lesson within it that you can't learn through success alone. Success can blind you, but pain sharpens you. It reminds you that there's always another level, always another standard to chase, always another wall to break through. Pain isn't meant to destroy you. It's meant to demand more of you than you ever thought possible. The question is, will you take the lesson, or will you resent the process that's designed to elevate you? What makes pain powerful is that it creates resilience. Think of every champion, every leader, every person who rose to greatness. You will not find one who did it without pain. They didn't reach the top by being comfortable. They were betrayed, doubted, rejected, and broken before they became who they are. And in those moments, they didn't curse the pain, they allowed it to transform them. Pain becomes a kind of armor, not because it makes you numb, but because it makes you unshakable. Once you've survived hardship, once you've walked through fire, everyday challenges no longer intimidate you. Pain toughens your spirit, and soon what once would have destroyed you becomes fuel for your drive. That's the gift only pain can give, an inner strength that can't be stolen by anyone. There's also a hidden clarity that comes through pain. When you suffer, your priorities become crystal clear. Suddenly, the petty distractions and shallow pursuits fall away because pain narrows your focus on what truly matters. It sharpens your hunger, your purpose, your vision, because you realize life is too short to waste on meaningless things. People who avoid pain spend years wandering aimlessly, chasing comfort and ease, never really knowing who they are or what they want. But those who have embraced pain understand their mission with a fire that cannot be extinguished. Pain is the filter. It removes the unnecessary and leaves only what is real. In this way, pain isn't just a teacher, it's a guide that directs you toward your truest path. And when you finally look back at the journey, you realize the lessons you remember most vividly weren't taught during the wins, but during the losses. The moments you thought you were finished, the nights you cried alone, the days you wanted to quit, those are the chapters that shaped your character. Pain doesn't just test your endurance. It molds your perspective, your grit, and your faith in yourself. It shows you that no matter how deep the wounds, you can still rise, and no matter how heavy the burden, you can still carry it. And though you would never wish for suffering, you come to understand it was the very thing that turned you into who you are. Pain is not the enemy. It is the silent mentor that forces you to evolve beyond what you believed possible. Discipline is the bridge between dreams and reality, the invisible line that separates those who talk about success from those who actually achieve it. Anyone can feel motivated for a day. Anyone can chase inspiration when the mood is right. But discipline is about showing up when the fire is gone, when nobody is watching, and when the excuses feel louder than your ambitions. Ordinary people live by emotion. They work when they feel like it and quit when it gets hard. The unstoppable, however, live by discipline. They don't ask if they feel ready. They simply execute because they've committed to the process. Discipline removes the weakness of choice. You no longer wonder if you should do the work, you just do it. And in that repetition, in that relentless consistency, greatness is formed while the ordinary are left behind. Discipline is not glamorous, and that's why most people fail to grasp its importance. It's not the exciting highlight reel, it's the grind behind the scenes. It's waking up at 5 a.m. when the bed is warm, saying no to distractions when your friends beg you to join, choosing focus when the world is drowning in noise. Discipline is boring in the moment, but it's the boredom that compounds into unstoppable momentum. The ordinary avoid discipline because it feels restrictive, but in reality, it's discipline that gives you freedom. The freedom to live on your own terms, to build a future of your design, to walk away from mediocrity. Without discipline, you're a slave to impulses. With discipline, you're the master of your destiny. The true power of discipline is that it multiplies over time. Talent may give someone an early advantage, but without discipline, that advantage fades quickly. The gifted become complacent while the disciplined outwork them day after day until the gap is closed and surpassed. Discipline has no off switch. It doesn't care if you're tired, stressed, or uninspired. It simply demands consistency. Every rep in the gym, every late night study session, every extra hour of effort builds a foundation that cannot be shaken. Discipline compounds like interest in a bank account. Small deposits daily eventually turn into wealth that ordinary people can't even comprehend. The difference between the ordinary and the unstoppable isn't luck. It's the relentless choice to stay committed long after the excitement has faded. Discipline also transforms identity. The ordinary tell themselves, I'll try, I'll start tomorrow, I'll see how I feel, but the unstoppable say, this is who I am, and this is what I do. Through discipline, actions become habits, and habits become character. Soon, it's not a matter of forcing yourself to act. It becomes second nature. You no longer have to convince yourself to put in the work because it's ingrained in who you are. Discipline rewires the mind, teaching you to trust yourself because you know you will follow through. That self-trust is rare and powerful because while others doubt themselves, the disciplined individual has proof from their actions that they can conquer anything. Discipline isn't just about doing, it's about becoming. The ordinary often rely on bursts of motivation, but motivation is fragile. It can be killed by a bad day, a single rejection, or a moment of self-doubt. Discipline, on the other hand, cannot be shaken by feelings. It operates beyond emotion, beyond circumstance, beyond temporary setbacks. That's why the unstoppable don't need external validation. They know the work will be done regardless of how they feel. Discipline builds resilience because it removes dependency on fleeting motivation. When others quit because the spark is gone, the disciplined keep going because they don't need the spark. They've built the fire inside themselves. This unwavering consistency becomes their weapon, and it's the reason they rise above the rest who let emotions dictate their actions. Over time, discipline turns ordinary individuals into forces of nature. What once felt impossible becomes routine. What once seemed heavy becomes light. What once looked unreachable becomes inevitable. The ordinary are shocked by the results, calling it luck or talent, but the unstoppable know it was discipline all along. It was the small decisions compounded over years, the sacrifices made daily, the commitment honored when nobody cared or noticed. Discipline isn't about being perfect, it's about refusing to quit. It's the refusal to let excuses win, the refusal to let comfort destroy progress, the refusal to settle for less than you're capable of. Discipline is the edge that makes the unstoppable unbreakable, and it is the one trait that ensures no matter how the odds are stacked, they will always find a way to win. In the end, winning is not about luck, talent, or the circumstances you were born into. Winning belongs to the ones who embrace pain as a teacher and discipline as a weapon. Pain will break you down, but only so you can rebuild into someone stronger, someone sharper, someone unstoppable. Every scar, every sleepless night, every sacrifice becomes a reminder that greatness was never supposed to be easy. It was supposed to be earned. And discipline is the force that ensures you never walk away from the path you've chosen. Discipline keeps you moving forward when the world turns its back on you. It doesn't matter if you're tired, if you're discouraged, or if you feel empty. Discipline demands that you show up anyway. That's what separates the ordinary from the ones who rise to the top. So when life challenges you, when it hurts, when it feels impossible, remember that the very pain you feel is shaping you. Remember that discipline is carrying you closer to victory, even when you can't see it. If you truly want to win, if you truly want to live as more than average, then do whatever it takes. Do it when you're tired, do it when it hurts, do it when you're alone. Because the world only respects results, and results only come to those who refuse to quit. Thank you for listening. Stay strong, keep pushing, and never stop fighting for your destiny. God bless you.